Hey guys, welcome back to the Foolish Show. Of course, I am Foolish Phil. Just wanted to give you some thoughts after Michigan blew yet another game, losing 69-59 to Rutgers today. The first time since joining the Big Ten that Rutgers won in Ann Arbor. I think they're now 1-6 or 1-7. So, don't really care so much about the game. The standard issue continued. Great first half, trash second half continued. Michigan has now been outscored. I think it's like 95 points in the second half. The worst, obviously, in the Big Ten. They dropped to 3-9 in the Big Ten, or 2-9. Anyways, post game is what's really the interesting issue here. If you didn't see it, Juwan Howard in post game comments had some interesting things. What do you guys think about this? He says one of the things he addressed in practice on how things are addressed in practice. This is what Coach Howard said. Everything is always addressed in practice. We have a great staff that we've done this before and had success while doing it. But the buy-in has to be reciprocated on the other end as well. More on that. This shit works. It does. On doing things differently in the second half, I've considered maybe going with my walk-ons. I know they care. They're gonna give a lot of what we ask. They are dialed in on the players not looking like a team that plays together. If you really care about winning, fix it. Come together. We've got to do it for 40 minutes. Ooh, that's some strong comments, and about time. I mean, if that's what Roy Howard thinks, it's about time you put that in writing, right? So he made the quotes. So it really brings the question, how good are these assistant coaches? I said in previous episodes, I think that Howard has to just cut ties with all these assistants if he keeps his job. A little story that came out in the game was T-Will, how he changed his shot over the summer. And it's a lot better shot now. And like the play-by-play people were like, well, how did you do that? Which coach helped you? He's like, no, none of them did. Oh, okay. So finally your senior player improved, and who had a hand in it? No one. Now, either that's true, or he took a shot at the staff and said, like, they didn't really do anything for me. I don't know which way you want to think about that. Think about the Howard comments. Again, he's taking a shot at the players that they're not buying in. And that kind of happens when you have to add several portal players. They're all fine. Any sport, don't get me wrong. If the players buy in and you're winning, players are going to buy in more. But man, you start losing. There's 7 wins on the year. 7. This is like one of the last 2 games, I think, that Ken Palm had them favored to win. And they lost. They blew a 15-point lead in the second half. 15-point lead, and they lost by 10. That just tells you what a collapse this team has, again, in the second half. Howard talking about playing the walk-ons instead because they care more. I don't know what's going to happen next game, but clearly it's quite the shot across the bow by Coach Howard saying, you guys aren't doing your share of it. He's saying it's got to be reciprocal, right? He's saying the coaches are putting in the work, the players aren't. And that goes back to the earlier thing where Sanderson, right? Camp Sanderson, the strength and conditioning coach. He and Howard had a spat, right? And was kind of blown up. We don't really know what all happened. Sanderson's still inside the athletic department, but not with Michigan, to the best of my knowledge. I mean, the basketball team. And so it's like, maybe Sanderson saw this, that the players weren't committed, and he said it, and Howard didn't like that he said it. I'm just, maybe. But it's kind of easy to connect the dots. Your strength and conditioning coach is calling you guys out. And Michigan's doing terrible in the second half when your strength and conditioning would be needed to be better, right? So, maybe not so much of a change there. I don't know, short video, guys. Michigan's terrible. I watched it. Don't know if I should have. But the after-game comments, that's really what's striking. What do you guys think about Coach Howard? Do you think this is going to rally the team? Or is this going to get people just be like, I'm out of here? I wouldn't be surprised if some players just went in the portal today to say, I'm out of here. Like, it's not worth my time. I mean, Michigan had that one guy from South America who was going to come in and play. Maybe the second half he would play. And now he decided to go off and play professionally in Spain. Yeah, I can understand it. Who wants to go play for this team? It's a terrible team right now. They're losing any way possible. Terrible turnovers, blowing second half leads. Michigan is 7-8 now in games they've led at halftime this season. 7-8. It's crazy. Imagine if you would just turn half of those losses into wins. You could be having a little bit better. That's also the point, too. They've not come from behind in any game and won, right? They have 7 wins on the year, and they're 7-8. So They've never come from behind this whole season. Hey guys, my battery's almost dead. If you guys have any thoughts, put them in the box below. I'll try to respond as I'm able to. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'm there, man. Always there. Go blue, even though the team's terrible. Go blue.